Well, hello. Welcome to the Real MoJo Show. I am your girl, Missy Jomo, and today we're talking about something real, something a little bit tender, and something so many parents quietly struggle with. Surviving the holidays as a single parent. If you're listening today and you're feeling overwhelmed, you're missing someone, you're worried about money, exhausted from trying to make everything perfect. I want you to know you're not alone. This episode is for parents who are doing the best they can with what they have, are still showing up every day. Okay, this is what I want you to do. Take a breath. You have made it here. All right. So I'm going to show you a video. So I'm going to go real quick and see who is in. Hello. Jay Touche. Welcome to the Real MoJo Show, Jay Touche. Who else is watching? Come in and drop in the chat. Where are you watching from? And I'm also going to drop in the chat. Sandra, welcome in. Hello. I am dropping in the chat the guest link. So as we are going along, you can add to the conversation. So thank you for coming. Who else is in the building? Welcome. So we're going to get started. Let me play my intro. I'm glad that you all are here. All right. Well, if you are here, go ahead and drop in the chat. Where are you watching from? Let me know. I'm just nosy like that. I'm curious. And also share this video with any single parents out there that may be struggling going through these holidays, because sometimes they don't speak. I was a single parent for a very long time, and I didn't really share what I was going through. I kept it inside. And let me tell you, that is so scary. You do not want to keep that inside. You need to share. You need a support system. And that is what we are here today to do. We're here to be your support system. We're here to let you know that it's such a blessing that you can be a parent and that you can spend this time with your children. I was a single parent for more of my children's lives than I was not a single parent. So I went through lots and lots of emotions, and we're going to talk about those today. And we're going to talk about how do we get through it. And we are going to live by faith and knowing that you will not always be a single parent unless you choose to be. Now, it is a choice. You can choose to be a single parent, but if you desire to have a significant other, it can happen, and just we will weather the storm as we walk through the season of being single parent. So before we get started, I'm going to show a really quick video, and then we will get deep down into the conversation about surviving the holidays as a single parent. So let's watch this quick YouTube video. It's just a few minutes long.
How is holiday stress different for single parents? How is holiday stress different for single parents? The holiday season can be a joyful time, but for single parents, it often brings unique challenges. Single parents carry the full weight of holiday planning, which can lead to increased stress. They manage everything from shopping for gifts to preparing meals, all without a partner to share the responsibilities. This can make the holidays feel overwhelming. Financial strain is a major factor. Single parents often have to stretch their budgets to cover gifts, decorations, and holiday meals on just one income. This pressure can be intense, especially when there is an expectation to create a joyful atmosphere for their children. The reality is that many single parents are working hard to make the holidays special while managing tight finances. Emotional stress is another layer that single parents face. The holidays often highlight family togetherness, which can amplify feelings of loneliness and isolation. If a single parent is navigating co-parenting arrangements, this can add even more tension. Coordinating schedules and dealing with potential conflicts can disrupt holiday traditions, making it difficult to maintain a sense of normalcy for the children. Logistically, single parents are juggling all holiday tasks alone. This includes shopping, cooking, decorating, and planning gatherings, all while balancing work and childcare. The absence of an extra set of hands can lead to feelings of burnout. The pressure to create a perfect holiday experience can be exhausting when everything falls solely on their shoulders. Heightened guilt is another common emotion. Single parents may worry about not being able to provide everything they want for their children or feel they are not fully enjoying the holidays themselves. They often try to shield their children from stress while managing their own, which can be a heavy burden. Practical challenges include managing increased household expenses without the benefit of shared income. Coordinating childcare and work schedules during holiday breaks can be tricky without extended family support. Single parents also handle the emotional labor of keeping holiday traditions alive and ensuring their children are happy, all on their own. Recognizing these challenges is the first step toward managing holiday stress. Single parents can benefit from setting realistic expectations. Seeking support from friends or community networks can also help lighten the load. Prioritizing self-care and focusing on meaningful moments rather than perfection can make a big difference. Accepting that it is okay to say no to some demands can help reduce pressure and protect mental health during the holidays.
All right. So, how many of you can relate to anything said? I mean, shoot, I am no longer a single parent, but I can still relate to many of those things that she spoke about. Uh-oh. So, if you are a single parent and you are in the chat, drop me a line. Drop a line in the chat and say that you are here. All right. So, have you felt that financial stress, the stress of trying to make things happen for your children? And now that you're doing it alone, like everything she said, I can raise my hand and say I've felt it. So the reality of the holidays, okay, let's just be honest as a single parent. The holidays really hit different when you're a single parent. Social media shows you all these happy families. They are in matching pajamas, collaborating and elaborating and making beautiful trees, big family, expensive gifts. But behind closed doors, many of us are juggling grief, finances, time constraints, emotional fatigue. You may be parenting alone, co parenting with tension, grieving a loss, recent loss, recent divorce, or single by circumstances you never even chose. And that's heavy. But here's the truth: the holidays don't have to look like everyone else's to still be meaningful. Um, hey, Sandra, to still be meaningful. So let's talk about the loneliness first, because I will have to say that the loneliness is what I felt the most when I was a single parent, especially when it was the odd year and the kids, well, the Christmas is the one that I felt the most lonely when it was the odd year and the kids were with their dad. I love Christmas. I love this holiday season. This is my favorite time of year, and I look forward to it. And so when I had kids, I really looked forward to it because then I could wrap gifts, put them under the tree, hide them, that the kids wake up in the morning, and when they woke and their eyes were this big and they were so excited, it just gave me a sense of just joy and just happiness. I mean, can you relate? So let me tell you something. Even when the house is full, even when kids are laughing, Even when you're busy, loneliness can still creep in. So you may see these pictures and videos and in social media where these families are together, but loneliness can still exist. So as a single parent, don't think that this is something that you walk through alone. You are not walking through this alone. Social media is just that, a social where they can share and show you the great times, but what is really going on behind closed doors? But let's be honest, you might miss a partner, your support, but it's okay to admit that. There's nothing wrong. What helps sometimes is just naming your feelings instead of burying them, giving yourself give yourself permission to feel joy and just know that these feelings are normal. Okay, so even when pride says don't, you are not weak for needing support and have a support system because you are human and we were not created to be alone. So now let's talk about money because this is the big one. This loneliness was my biggest, and then finances, because the pressure to buy gifts, um, decorate, travel, keep up with everyone else can be overwhelming. I was there. I tried to. It didn't work. Getting yourself into debt just for one day of the year is just not worth it. Here's something I need you to hear clearly. Your love is more valuable than anything wrapped under the tree. Now, I realized that when it was late. I thought the big presents under the tree is what my children were looking for. And yes, they loved the presents, but you know what they loved more? And I didn't find this out until my child was 16 and told me this. She said it wasn't about the money I was spending. She just wanted to feel loved by me. And it's so disappointing when you realize that you stressed yourself out trying to figure out ways to buy robbing Peter to pay Paul so that you can just have these gifts under the tree that just didn't mean as much as just sitting down, watching a movie, drinking hot chocolate with candy canes, letting each child rotate, pick a movie. This is what is meaningful, and this is what your children will remember even as they are grown and they are starting to have children of their own. They will share these stories with their children. Because think about it, all those toys under the tree that I stressed myself out to purchase, where are they today? They're nowhere to be found. The games are broken, thrown in the trash. The clothes they can't even wear anymore. Like they're trash. They're gone. But do you know what has lasted over the years? Is the memories that we created together. They remember when we used to watch Home Alone. They remember when we used to watch The Grinch That Stole Christmas. They remember eating popping popcorn and putting milk duds in them. And yeah, we ate milk duds in our popcorn or M&Ms. That's what they remember. It is the small things that matter. Your love is more valuable than anything wrapped under the tree. Your laughter, creating your own traditions. No price tag is you can't even put a price tag on that. Set a realistic, so what I want to say is set a realistic budget and honor it. You can't just set it and still ignore it. You need to set it and honor it. Choose intentional gifts. Instead of excess, choose meaningful gifts. You can even make things that your kids will keep, and possibly they may even give that to their child. So that's what's meaningful. Um, and this is one thing, comparison will steal your peace every time. Do not compare. Do not go to other houses and say, oh, wow, they have all these gifts under the tree. Their house is beautiful. Look at the lights. Do not compare because that is the quickest way that you will find failure. So I am going to I have a guest who's going to join us because as we're talking about single parenting don't always mean that you're the only parent, um, that you're not married, or single parenting during the holidays could also mean that you have a parent who's just not around. Maybe they're a truck driver, maybe they're in the military, maybe they're away for whatever reasons. You're not only a single, sometimes you find yourself living as a single parent even as you are um, married or have a partner. So we have a guest today who's going to come on and share their experience as a married parent who also has these struggles during the holidays. So um, let me see. As well, we're going to wait for her. We're going to wait for her to come in. So we're going to keep going until she comes in. One of the hardest things that the holidays do bring, as I mentioned, you have the loneliness, you have um, the finances, and also you have maybe the challenge of co-parenting. So I'm sorry. Let me talk about the traditions first. You have the challenges of keeping the traditions that you might have had when you weren't a single parent. Say maybe you're a divorced parent or some separation of some type. The thing about tradition is you can create your own traditions. That is what I did as a single parent. Instead of doing, we would go see the trees lit. We used to live in a city called Cedar Park, and they had a day where they lit a tree, and that was our thing to do. We went to the tree, we went to a neighborhood whose the whole street had lights, and they had Santa, and they had cocoa. That became our tradition. That every year we would pick a day and that's what we did. And that my kids loved it. And we would do it in our pajamas. That's what made it even more special. That became our tradition. Now, I'm not going to say as your kids get older, they don't sometimes walk away from those things, but it's easy to will them back in just by talking and reminiscing. And let me tell you, those are the days that their kids will remember. Just like I said, those gifts, they may throw them in the trash and don't even have them anymore, but they will remember those memories. Now, let me see. We have Sandra coming in, but I haven't seen her come in yet. Sandra, are you there? Okay, okay. Here she goes. Hey, welcome in, Sandra. How are you?
Hello, Missy. How are you?
I am good. Thank you for coming on and agreeing to come give your experience as actually a married parent. But a lot of times you have to go through the holidays as a single parent. So
Correct.
share with us your experience.
Well, Missy, I actually can talk about experience as a single parent because I was a single parent of two children for many years before I remarried my actual husband. And yes, I did. We did had struggles, financially because I was the sole parent raising two children on my own and had to, you know, try to figure out things for what to give, what not to give, or what could I afford or what I couldn't. And yeah, those first years of being a single parent wasn't easy. Um, I did found myself a group uh, of single parents and where everybody came together. We did like gift exchange that helped a lot, and believe it or not, I found myself surrounded with by single mothers with children. That's what the group of people that I was around at the time because I was single and seems like everybody was single as well. So it wasn't easy, but we went through that. And around Christmas time, of course, I didn't have like a full cart of presents for my children, but I had one or two gifts, and they were appreciative of whatever they received. There was never a struggle on that aspect. They never demand anything. Um, but I wish that I always could give more, but it wasn't easy. And now I'm. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so how was it with the co-parenting during that season? Because I know it can bring its own stress with conflict and then emotional triggers. Can you share a little bit about that?
Well, there was not a lot of good. I didn't have a good relationship as you had with your ex. With my kid's father, it was a very awkward situation. And yes, the kids would split the time with me and him. One year they would go to him. One year they would stay with me. Um, there was not a let's work together to help the kids. You know, but the kids always wish that they would stay with me. They didn't have to go to the dad's house. Because they felt the love at home. And it was a very difficult time. Until they grew up and they decided that they wanted to spend Christmas with me after. But while they were little, yeah, it was a little bit difficult.
So how do you think as your kids have gotten older, do they still have that do you still have that conflict or
I don't, because they know that I did my best as a single mom. I did the best. I did provide great memories for my kids. And they always tell me, Mom, I'm so grateful for the experience that we had with you and the things that you did for us. You should do the same for Jordan, because I do have a son with on my new marriage. And they always telling me, you need to do the same things with Jordan that you did with us, because we had a great, um, you know, growing up.
yeah, and see, that's exactly what I was saying. You know, the kids, a lot of times they even forget the gifts, but what they remember is the traditions, the memories that you created together. Would you?
Yes,
It sounds like
I
you
agree.
agree.
Yes.
Okay, so now that you, so I guess what is the difference now as a married parent? What is the difference in your holidays?
Well, for my son, my husband is a truck driver, so there's a lot of times, a lot of years that he may be able to be home for Christmas and for holidays, and there are the times that he's not able to be home. But just knowing that that person is there, because Christmas time is a very difficult time. It's a very happy time, but it also a very difficult time for a lot of people, because all the emotions comes in. Everybody thinks about their loved ones. If you live, I'm from another country, and I always have a hard time, because I always think about my family overseas and how much I would love to spend one more Christmas with them. So having my husband here as a support, and even if he's not home, we do spend Christmas via chat. Technology is great. Makes that distance so much smaller. And my son, even that the dad is not here, but the dad spent that time, even if he's in video chat with us. And it's different. Technology definitely helps.
Yes, I was just thinking that as you said it. Thank God. You know, I always say I have a love hate relationship with technology, but that is where I have a love for it when it can continue to keep us connected, even when we can't physically be together. So that is one big appreciation I have. And it's a benefit to single parents who, you know, the kid, you may have smaller kids who would love to see the parents together for the holiday. And hey, there's nothing wrong with picking up your phone or picking up their phone and allowing them to video chat or video call with the other parent so that they can still have that both parents for the holidays. So yes,
Ye-
technology is definitely a benefit. So
Yes.
let me ask you something. Since you was a single parent and now you're in a season as a married parent, what is something that you would share with single parents who are having to struggle or having to survive through these holidays alone. Maybe it's their first year as a single parent. How would you encourage them?
Surround with people that care about you and you care about them. Uh, Sometimes family doesn't have necessarily to be blood related. You can have a good friend. You can have a support group. A lot of prayer because it does also help. And but surround with yourself with people like you know, that going through the same struggles that you guys can support each other because there's nothing like support system.
It's
Um,
important.
yes, having another it doesn't necessarily have to be a single parent, but having a support system that is there that will ease that pain just by talking to you and making you forget about that moment is a hard moment for you. You know, at least for an hour or two, you can forget about everything and give your children the best time of their life.
It's you're exact. I totally agree, because I didn't have that the first year that I found myself as a single parent. In fact, the first Christmas that I was a single parent was an odd year. It was 2009, and so the kids went with their dad, and it was devastating for me. And so I did not do well, and because I was embarrassed because I was a single parent at that time, I didn't share my feelings with anyone. I didn't reach out to anyone. In fact, I stayed in the bed all day, ordered a pizza, and watched movies. Now, I still can do that now, but I look at it with a different set of eyes. That is a relaxing time now.
Yes,
I
yes,
get that opportunity to allow my kids to go and share that time with their dad. But it was very different then. The point of me bringing that up is because my first year, it was very different then. It was pretty much I became very depressed, and that's
yeah,
what I
it
don't
is.
and that's what I don't want people to fall into that space. I want them to know, like, this is a great it's not the ideal time, but this can also be a great time, and let me tell you why. Because if you are a faith centered parent, this can be a season where you can deepen your walk, with Christ. It doesn't change the season. God doesn't change the season. He strengthens you in it. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry. You are resilient. You can be capable. Choose for your children, even on days you feel like you're barely holding it together. This is the time that you can realize and learn, lean into prayer, lean into hope, lean into grace, and especially for yourself. And that
Yes,
is something that I learned along the way. And like you said, I started to connect with like people who were also walking through a season of being a single parent and leaning on their faith to get them through that time.
yes, true.
So, is there any so besides just connecting with others, is there any other advice you would give or any other experiences you would like to share?
So like you, the first year after separation, it was very hard because my kids had to go spend time with their dad, and I spent it not by I spent part of the day by myself until a friend came and took me out of the house, and she said, "It's not the end of it. This is the beginning of a beautiful
Of a
thing,
new chapter.
and your children are with their father. They okay. So now it's time for you to turn and do self care, because sometimes as a mom, you do tend to forget about yourself because you were so absorbed, making sure that you take care of everyone else, that you kind of forget to take care of yourself. So she said, "It's okay. Everything's gonna be okay." And she took me out of the house. We went dancing. I was not in the mood. Oh, I didn't want to dress up. I didn't want to get up to do my hair, but I did it even if I needed, even that I didn't want to do it. And then I was like, the next day I was like, something. She's right. Yeah, this is not the end. This is the beginning.
Mm.
You know.
It's just the beginning of a new chapter in your life,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
that is so true. And like I said, I always have a heart for the single parents because I know exactly what I walked through, and especially being that depression, well, the depression that I went through, I don't want anyone to ever experience, and I want them
Yes.
to reach. out. And there are people out there that may even be feeling similar that you can link up with. And that is just what I would say. You do not have to walk this path by yourself.
You don't.
Welcome in, Marriott. So yeah, so that is great, great, great advice. And
But also, if you feel that you have you know, you're feeling down and you have want to have that moment for yourself, that's okay
it
too.
is,
You're entitled to, you know, cry, you know, watch movies, be food binging. You know what I mean? Because you're going through something that, you know, it's hurtful because you get married not thinking that you're going to get divorced, and you think you're going to spend the rest of your life with that person, and then all of a sudden you become a single parent with two kids, and you know, doing most of everything, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's okay too, so sometimes to be in that space where you just don't feel like to do anything.
yeah, and it is, and that's exactly what I said. I said then on the holiday, eating pizza and staying in the bed watching movies was actually became enjoyable because I got that
Yes.
little bit of break and let the kids enjoy their time with their dad and knowing that they're coming back. They're not going anywhere. They're going to come back, and we're going to have our time together as well. So, yeah, you're right. That time alone, that self care, what you just spoke about, is crucial because when you are doing it all by yourself, you do get burnout sometimes. Sometimes you find yourself burnout and you take that time to fill yourself up again. That's why I said, especially if you're a faith um, person, that you can use that time to build your faith and to uh, create a stronger relationship with Christ if that's where you are. Or if you just want to get to know you, who you are, what do you like to do? What do you like? Because a lot of times we go from day to day doing what we have to do because we are single parents and we have to come home from work. We have to go, first of all, we have to go to work. We have to come home and fix
Yes.
dinner. We have to help with homework. We have to make sure our kids take showers and all those things are things we have to do. But then when they're away, you can take that advantage to say, okay, who am I and what do I like? Because for a long time, I didn't even realize I didn't even know what I like because I was so on automatic mode, do this every day that I forgot about me. I remember going to the doctor and the doctor asking me, like, so how does it feel? I had some, matter of fact, it was my knee pain and they were asking me different. I said, I really don't pay attention to myself. I really don't know how it feels when I do that, So I was like,
Yes.
gosh, you go through each day, you don't even focus on yourself. You lose focus on yourself and you don't take care of yourself. And then it's times like this when you realize, wow, I was so focused on just the children. So when they are away, you have an opportunity to take time and just do some self care. And it is very important to do so.
Yes. And imagine when they're all out of the house, go to college. You know, that's when you really feel it. And this is why that is important that you take care of yourself, you know, so you're ready for those moments.
Yes, exactly. Well, thank you so much for sharing
Mhm.
that experience. And
You're
I
welcome.
just, I just want to encourage the single parents that are listening. Let me speak directly to you. You are not failing. You are not behind, and you are not invisible. You are showing up, and that's what matters. Your children are watching how you love, how you are operating. They're watching you because my daughter told me this that she watched me through that season and now she's 19 and she thinks I'm the strongest woman in the world and I'm like what where did you get that from? But I just want to say one day you will understand, each one of you single parents out there will one day understand that. You will understand the strength it took for you to get through these seasons because when I look back I'm like, wow, the only time you want to look back is just to see how far you have come. Because trust me, when you have walked through this season and come out on the other side, you're going to be stronger and you're going to be wiser. So I just encourage each and every one of you to keep going. You have not failed.
Definitely.
Any final thoughts, Sandra?
Well, anybody that's going through this, that just stay strong, be strong, surround with people that can support you and be there for you emotionally, mentally. And it's not the end; it's just the beginning. So stay strong.
So stay strong. I want you, single parents out there or parents, just take a breath with me. I just, for me, because of the season, I just want to say a quick prayer as we are closing out. So just pray with me. God, cover every single parent listening to my voice tonight. Give them peace, give them provision, give them rest, and give them clarity. Replace replace stress and sadness with strength, loneliness with comfort, um, fear with hope. Remind them that they are seen, they are supported, and they're never alone. And that is my prayer for each and every one of you single parents out there. So, if we don't have any questions or anyone who wants to add to the conversation, I just want to say thank you for spending this time with me on the Real MoJo Show. If this episode blessed you, please share it with other parents, other single parents out there, someone who may need this encouragement. We will all survive these holidays together, but I'm going to check in the chat just to make sure before I end. Hello, chat. Before we end this podcast, does anyone have any questions? Anybody want to add to the conversation? I can drop the link really quick.
Missy, thank you for having me. I have to go. My son is doing things. So
Yes,
I hope
thank
you
you,
have a good night.
Sandra. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. I really do appreciate
Not a
it.
problem. Have a good night.
Have a good night. And I don't see anything in the chat, so I just want to um, end this with saying, until next time, you stay encouraged, stay grounded, and let's keep moving forward together. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we will see you more than likely in the new year. So, Merry Christmas, everyone.